What's up, YouTube? I'm the Vintage Cube Chef. I've been playing Magic the Gathering Arena for years as a free-to-play player. What that means, I will cover in this video, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to best make it so that you too can be a free-to-play player on Magic the Gathering Arena. Hopefully, if you're coming from paper or MTGO, this also gives you a little bit of an idea of how the Magic the Gathering Arena system works, along with its currencies. And if you're coming from MTGO specifically, it'll help you better understand why the prize structure for events is the way it is, since all prizes on MTG Arena are technically free as long as you're willing to put in the time. With that, let's jump right in. Being a free-to-play player and being a free-to-play drafter are different things because drafting requires you to purchase your events. You can be a free-to-play player in many ways without having to spend any amount of gold or gems to enter events simply by choosing to play formats that do not require you to spend any money to play. These include Standard or Brawl or any of the other basic formats. However, if you want to play Limited, which is the format that I enjoy, being a free-to-play player requires you to both draft well so that you can keep your runs alive and be smart with your resource management to maximize the number of drafts you can do. As a general statement, the better you are at limited, the easier it will be to be a free-to-play drafter. However, there are some things you can do to make it a little bit easier and you can draft more often. Being a free-to-play player for draft can be quite difficult on Magic the Gathering Arena. Even though you do get free currency in the form of gold every day by playing the game, drafts cost gold or gems and pay out gems based off of how you do in them. The first step to being a free-to-play drafter is understanding the payouts so that you can choose which events you'd like to participate in. If you're coming from paper or from Magic the Gathering Online, you would be most familiar with the traditional draft format. Traditional draft format is best of 3 matches, and you play 3 rounds. These rounds do not go away even if you lose. You play all 3 with the goal of getting the best record you can. As a general statement, traditional drafts allow you to play the most Magic. However, it has a slightly worse payout structure than in the other format, Premier Draft. The payout structure for a traditional draft is as follows. For the current Arena-powered cube, it's giving packs of random sets. However, most of the time traditional draft gives out packs of the set you're playing in. At 0 wins, so if you go 0-3, you will get 100 gems back and 1 pack. At 1-2, you'll get 250 gems and a pack. At 2-1, you'll get back 1,000 gems and 3 packs. And if you manage to go 3-0, you'll get 2,500 gems and 5 packs. To participate in any draft on Magic the Gathering Arena, you either need to pay 10,000 gold or 1,500 gems. So as you can see, the only way to make a profit of gems is to go 3-0 in the traditional cube draft. Premier Draft is a little different. Although it costs the same to enter, all of your rounds will be best of 1, which means you will not face the same opponent twice. In best of 1 matches, you get to play until you reach 3 losses, which means if your first 3 rounds are losses, you do not get to continue playing. You also are capped at 7 wins, so it's whichever happens first, reaching 7 wins or reaching 3 losses. As a result, the maximum number of games you can play is 9, either through getting 7 wins and 2 losses, or through getting 6 wins and 3 losses. However, you could play only 3 total games of Magic with your draft. The payout structure is also quite different. Going 0-3 rewards you 50 gems and a pack. Going 1-3 gets you 100 gems and a pack. Going 2-3 gets you 250 gems and 2 packs. Going 3-3 gets you 1,000 gems and 2 packs. 4-3 gets you 1,400 gems and 3 packs. 5-3 gets you 1,600 gems and 5 packs. 6-3 gets you 1,800 gems and 6 packs. And going 7-2, 7-1, or 7-0 will get you 2,200 gems and 7 packs. This is slightly different than when it's just a normal set because it's the Arena Cube. but it still helps you understand roughly the payouts. For best of one, your goal is to get 5 wins, as that guarantees you make a profit of your gems. The first step to being a free-to-play drafter is to generate gold. Every 10,000 gold you earn is equivalent to 1 draft. The draft will pay out in gems, so we'll talk about using gems in a moment. Every day, you are offered a quest, up to a maximum of 3 in your quest bank. They appear on the home page at the bottom. You do not have to complete them that day. They will sit there until you complete them. Quests either give you 500 gold or 750 gold. Once per day, you may pick one of the quests that you currently have not completed and re-roll it. This should always be done if you have at least one quest only offering 500 gold, because you have the chance of turning it into a quest that gives you 750 gold. It averages out to about 600 gold a day of quests, as you hit a point where you need to complete quests so that you gain a new one the next day. You never want to have 3 quests at the end of the day uncompleted, because you will not get a 4th one. Every day, you also have the ability to get daily wins. As you can see, I've already gotten 5 of my 15 possible daily win rewards. At a minimum, you should be completing 4 wins a day. These wins can be from any format, including more casual formats like Brawl, or ranked formats like Standard, or the drafts that you are participating in. This is because on the first win of the day, you will receive 250 gold, and the next 3, you will receive 100 gold, for a total of 550 gold paid out over your first 4 wins. If you wish to continue and play to a 6th win, you will be offered this quest, the 50 gold bonus, bumping you up to 600. It may seem small, but 50 gold every day over the course of long periods of time increases the number of drafts you can do. Assuming you're earning an average of 600 gold per quest you complete, and 550 gold from daily wins, it will take you approximately 9 days to build up the 10,000 gold to participate in a draft. This means, assuming that we are absolutely terrible at draft, every 9 days we get a free draft that we can pay for from just completing quests. You may be thinking to yourself, drafting once every 9 days, so less than a week, doesn't really sound like a lot, but you have to consider that most of the time you're going to be earning some amount of gems back from the draft you participated in, and some amount of time you will actually profit off of the gems you put in. In the case of traditional draft, every time you go 3-0, you make a profit of 1,000 gems. Every time you go 2-1, you lose 500 gems, which means if you are averaging 2-1 or 3-0 on all of your drafts, you will be able to make gems back and continue drafting. On Magic the Gathering Arena, there are 3 other ways that you can earn gems and gold without having to put any money into the game. The first is the Mastery Pass. The Mastery Pass is offered every season and is directly connected to one of the sets recently released. In the case of the current Mastery Pass, it is for OM1, also known as the Spider-Man set for the paper players. The way the Mastery Pass works is for free, without putting any money in, you automatically earn the rewards on the top track when you go up in levels from completing daily quests through experience. Playing naturally will move you through this pretty easily. As you can see, I'm already at level 45, and I have 11 days to reach level 60, where the Mastery Pass essentially ends. You may notice that over the course of this top track, it only pays out in packs and these orbs. Orbs can be used in the Spend Orbs shop for that season to unlock card backs and card art, which are cool but do not provide a way to gain income, as the card arts do not actually give you the card, just a alternate skin for the card if you have it. So how does the Mastery Pass earn you gold or gems for free? Well, if you have enough gems accrued through free-to-play drafting to pay the 3,400 gems for the Mastery Pass, you will unlock this bottom row. If you buy it later into the season, it will automatically unlock all the things you've already acquired. When a new Mastery Pass is released, I sit down and I do the math of what the Mastery Pass will give you. in terms of gold and gems. When converting gold to gems using draft as a conversion, i.e. 10,000 gold is equal to 1,500 gems, each mastery pass is almost always worth 3,300 gems, just 100 gems short of the total you pay for the mastery pass. You may be asking yourself, doesn't that mean I lose 100 gems when I buy the mastery pass? And the answer is not quite. And that's because of our second method of earning gems, which is completing sets. In Magic the Gathering Arena, you open packs just like you would in real life. However, there is no benefit, unlike in real life, to having any more than 4 of a card. In Magic the Gathering Arena, if you already possess 4 copies of a card when you open it from a pack, one of 2 things will happen. If it is a common or uncommon, it will fill the vault. As you can see, my vault is at 55% right now. When it reaches 100%, you will be granted wild cards, 1 mythic, 2 rare, and 3 uncommon. Whenever you open a rare or mythic that you already have 4 of, you are instead given gems. This includes when you open them and add them to your collection via draft formats. Rares are worth 20 gems, and mythics are worth 40. Magic the Gathering has duplicate protection, which means when you open packs on Magic the Gathering Arena, it will first give you cards that you do not have 4 copies of before giving you duplicates. This means if you have not yet collected 4 of every rare in a set, you will always be given one of the rares you do not yet have 4 of. However, it also means that once you have 4 copies of every rare in a set, you will always receive 20 gold when you open a pack that contains a rare. Every pack on Magic the Gathering Arena either contains a rare, a mythic, or a rare or mythic wild card. In this way, we can turn the packs we open into gems by ensuring that we have completed the rares and mythics for that set. The arena even has a built-in way to see your progress through your profile for each set on the platform. Simply click Set Collection, and here you can see and sort all of the sets on Arena. By clicking a specific set, you can see your progress. Once you've collected 4 copies of every card in a set, the symbol will turn mythic colored. As you can see, I drafted a lot of Duskmourn, and as a result, I have 4 copies of every card. What this means is, when Magic the Gathering Arena gives me a pack from Duskmourn, it is always worth either 20 or 40 gold to me. When a set has a gold border, this means you have collected at least 1 of every rare, mythic, common, and uncommon for that set, and you are now just missing 4 copies of cards. As you can see for Aether Drift, I have all of the rares and I'm only missing mythics. This means when I open a pack for Aether Drift, if I would have opened a rare, I instead get 20 gems. If I open a mythic, it gets me 1 closer to getting this set fully completed. Outside of the Arena Cube, since sets normally give reward packs for the set you're playing, completing that set means that your pricing changes quite a bit. Let's look at the current Premier Draft for Foundations as an example. Here, you can see the payout is essentially the same. But if we have completed the set for Foundations, then those 3 packs are actually worth gems. You also have to consider that when you draft cards in your deck, for every rare or mythic you take, it is also worth 20 or 40 gems respectively, assuming you've completed the full set. Where previously 5 wins was the requirement to break even, if you have completed the set mastery, 4 wins now breaks even, because you get 3 packs, which will have 20 gems in each for a total of 60, and assuming you've picked up at least 2 rares over the course of your draft, going 4 wins essentially breaks even as opposed to losing you 100 gems. It also makes the reward for going 7 wins all that much better, as you now get 120 additional gold from the 6 packs, making it a profit of 820 gems minimum, not counting the rares and mythics you drafted. Unfortunately, on Magic the Gathering Arena, there is no easy way to quickly complete a set. So here's how I tackle completing sets that I intend to draft a large amount of so that I can generate gems faster. The first step is to not open your packs immediately. Because of the fact that Magic the Gathering Arena has duplicate protection, it's best to do multiple drafts first and get yourself close to having a complete set before opening any packs. That way, the packs you open will fill in the rest of your set. This is especially true for commons, where in limited, you're more likely to take good commons often and fill them up to 4, and you're more likely to pass weaker commons and need to fill them in using wild cards. Speaking of which, when I get close to a breakpoint for any of the rarities, I fill them in with wild cards. You will collect wild cards naturally by opening packs. As a general statement, I always like to leave myself with at least 50 wild cards of a specific type, and for rares and mythics that number's a little lower, usually about 30. When I get to a point where I can use wild cards to finish a rarity, I do, because it means that I fill my vault faster to get higher quality wild cards sooner. As a reminder, every time you open a card you already have 4 of through a pack, it increases your vault, which gives you rare and mythic wild cards. Rare and mythic wild cards are the rarest type of wild card to get naturally, so this is super important. Usually by week 1 or maybe even week 2 of a set, I have completed all of the commons and uncommons. So now that you understand how to use set mastery to turn packs into incremental gems, you can now see why the mastery pass is actually worth a profit. If we go back to the mastery pass and we look at the packs, we can see that over the course of the season, we will be offered multiple packs from a variety of sets. For this mastery pass, there were 5 sets that you are offered 4 packs of, which means if you've collected 4 of every rare from at least 2 of those sets, then the total value of the mastery pass is actually a profit. This is not including all of the cosmetics that you get or the guaranteed mythics, which can further help you complete set mastery so you can start earning more wild cards and gems. In an effort to guarantee that I make a profit, I often wait until the very end of the season to pay for my mastery pass. This is so that if something happens and I don't end up getting enough experience to complete the mastery pass, I don't miss out on any gems. This also means that I try to keep my minimum amount of gems at about 3,400. Going below that means I may not be able to buy the mastery pass before it expires. There's one final way that you can earn resources in Magic the Gathering Arena, and that's through the store. Occasionally, Magic the Gathering Arena will offer free gems, gold, or a reduced price draft token in the shop. It happens roughly once every 3 weeks, although not on a specific schedule. Keeping an eye out on the shop to make sure that it is not one of the days where you can get free gold, gems, or a reduced price draft token is an easy way to get a little bit of a boost for your Magic the Gathering resources. These are all the ways that I, as a free-to-play drafter, increase the resources Magic the Gathering gives me for free by playing on Arena. In total, it means I play at least 4 games a day so that I can get my daily wins. I am completing and re-rolling my daily quests so that I can get the maximum amount of gold from them. I'm keeping an eye on the Mastery Pass to see if it will turn me a profit. I am completing sets so that opening packs and completing drafts can earn me a small amount of gems. And I'm keeping an eye on the shop to get my daily deals when they would give us free resources. Ultimately, the best way to be a free-to-play drafter is to do well in draft. Being consistent is more important than anything else, as one really bad draft can set you much farther back than one really good draft. Take, for example, the traditional cube draft. If you went 3-0, you would earn 2,500 gems, and if you immediately followed that by going 0-3, you would only earn 100. Together, that adds up to 2,600 gems, and you would have had to spend 3,000 gems to be able to draft twice, which means going 3-0 and 0-3 do not cancel each other out. In fact, going 3-0 and 1-2 do not cancel each other out, as you'll earn 2,500 gems from going 3-0 and only 250 gems from going 1-2. This would still result in a loss of 250 gems. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and in the future, I'll be making some videos about how to be a better drafter and some of the steps I take before, during, and after drafts to grow my draft skill set. In the meantime, I post almost daily videos of drafts for the powered traditional cube, and I highly recommend taking a peek at what goes through the mind of a free to play, borderline infinite drafter. Thanks for watching.